Okay, let me
There we go.
go.
Mhm.
Okay, good morning. We'll call the governance committee meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is to approve the governance committee meeting minutes from October 18th, 2023. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are accepted. At this point, we're open to public comment. If there's anyone wishing to address the governance committee, they have 5 minutes. We just ask that you state your name and address. Is there anyone who would like to address the governance committee meeting at this time? Seeing none, or hearing none, we'll close that portion of the meeting. First action item is a review, discussion, and recommendation of an extension of the January 5th, 2023 sales and use tax exemption agreement with 78 Main Street LB4 Properties LLC from December 21st, 2023 through and including December 21st, 2024, the total of which shall not exceed $35,064.18.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. We have 3 sales tax exemption program applications here. The first of the 3 is a request for an extension of time. The term of the benefit related to 78 Main Street LB4 Properties LLC. Ben Locke is here on the Zoom representing the project. This project was initially granted a sales tax exemption for the period of December 21 through December 22 through December 21, 23. The initial construction timeline had the project slated to finish before the end of last year. However, unforeseen issues that arose delayed the timeline, including structural beams that had to be put into place that were not anticipated to maintain the structural integrity of the building. The backside of the building had a 3-story staircase that needed to be torn down and rebuilt. As such, the new expected completion date is August 24, but to provide caution for any additional unexpected occurrences, they are requesting a 1-year extension. This is for time only. That would run from today's date of January 17th, 2024 through January 17th, 2025.
Any questions or discussion? Is there a motion?
Quick question, clarification. In the application, Mr. Locke indicated that he realizes there's a gap between December 21st and approval. Can we backdate and give credit back to the 21st so there's, or we're acknowledging this is a beneficial project?
Yes, we
There's
can.
not a 3-week gap?
Yes, yeah, we can do that effective. So we run, excuse me, effectively December 21, 23 through December 21, 24. Yes, thank you for that clarification.
Thank you very much. That'll be very helpful.
Any other questions? Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Next, review, discussion, recommendation of an extension of the January 3rd, 2023 sales and use tax exemption agreement with Marchuska Productions LLC from December 21st, 2023 through and including December 21st, 2024, the total of which shall not exceed $18,160.
Yes, thank you. And again, this is very similar to the previous request. Justin, I believe Justin Marchuska is on the Zoom here for any additional questions, but this project, this is for significant renovation to space at the Metro Center for a new tenant, Ramble, which is an engineering firm based in the Syracuse area, who is opening a Binghamton office. Similarly, there was build out to upgrade flooring space, and they ran into, like many are dealing with, unfortunately, a labor delay on this project. They are also seeking a 1-year extension that would run effectively December 21, 2023 through December 21, 2024. They do anticipate the work to be done in approximately 180 days, but to provide some additional time for any unforeseen occurrences. The request is for a full year term.
Any questions for Stacy, the developer? Is there a motion? Go ahead.
I'll move it.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion is carried. Next is a review discussion recommendation of an application from Neurosciences Healthcare Medicine PC in authorizing a New York State and local sales and use tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $84,000 for a term not to exceed 12 months, consistent with the policies of the agency in connection with the construction, renovation, and equipping of the property and building located at 1020 Vestal Parkway East in the town of Vestal.
Okay, so I was looking for my larger print copy of this. This is a new application to our small business incentive program, which is our sales tax benefit program. This is related to the renovation of a facility in the town of Vestal. This is the renovation of a healthcare facility with a focus on neurosurgery and pain management. The project completely renovates and modernizes the exiting Lourdes Hospital facility located at 1020 Vestal Parkway East. Starting in August 2022, the project had completed renovations on the first floor. The request is for the next phase of construction, which includes, but is not limited to, new heat pumps, plumbing, bathrooms, patient rooms, lobby area, and reception. All new LED lights will be installed throughout the building, both interior and exterior, including the parking lot. The outside will be excavated. The outside was excavated, dead trees removed, and the parking lot has been repaved. Currently, the upstairs is undergoing renovations to additional 16 rooms for patients and medical staff. The bathrooms were completely remodeled. A brand new addition is being added to the back of the building. This addition will house a new open MRI unit and a ZAP radio surgery machine, the first of its kind in the area, and only 1 in 5 nationally. The addition will also include a new bathroom, X-ray area, waiting room, medical staff office. New foundation and walls and steel beams have been added. The project is expected to be completed by September 2024 and will significantly increase healthcare options for the residents of the southern tier and surrounding area. The project uses all locally sourced materials and contractors where available. Total project cost on this is $1.65 million. Of that, approximately $1,050,000 is subject to New York State sales tax, which results in a savings of $84,000 through this program. I do believe we have representatives. I'm not sure if Dr. Sethi is on, but we have, we have representatives from the project in case anyone has questions.
A point of clarification of the exemption, it's just for the go forward or does
Go forward.
it include?
No, it's only to go forward, yeah. So, yeah,
That's great to have this property back on
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
track and looking nice.
Absolutely.
And the machinery. State of the art.
State of the art, yeah.
Is that property now a tax rolls, right? It wasn't before?
Yes. Correct.
Another really good
Yeah.
benefit.
Who's it got? This is Lourdes, and
It was owned by Lords.
it's going to
yes.
Guthrie, right?
No,
Private.
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 Is it back on tax years?
Interesting.
Mhm.
That's good.
Started his own practice there.
Oh, great. Any additional questions or discussion? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion's carried. We have no other business at this point.
No.
Is there a motion to adjourn? So moved. Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned.
Oh,
That was efficiency there.
I know.
This is kind of
I think moving forward, we're gonna have to, are we all set? Are we out of? No, hold on, 1 second. Going with it.
Ready.
Yeah.
I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Broome County Industrial Development Agency of January 17th, 2024. And I'm gonna hand this off to our attorney, Joe Mayer, to administer the oath of office and to work on the nominations.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor.
Let's begin with the oath of office. If you would all raise your right hand and repeat after me. I. Your name. Okay, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of
of the office of
member of the Broome County Industrial Development Agency
member of the Broome County Industrial Development Agency
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, now do we have a nomination for chairman of the Broome County Industrial Development Agency?
We do. I would like to nominate John Bernardo to serve as our chair.
Is there a second to that nomination? Okay. And do we have a nomination for the office of vice chair?
I'd like to nominate Jim Peduto to the office of vice chair.
Second? Second. And a nomination for the office of secretary?
I wish to nominate Richard Bucci for the office of secretary.
Second.
Second.
And finally, the office of treasurer.
I'd like to nominate Dan Crocker for treasurer.
Second.
Also.
All right, that is the present slate of officers for the upcoming year for the Broome County Industrial Development Agency, and I'll ask if we have a motion to approve this slate. Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none, the slate is
Okay.
elected.
Thank you, Joe. Moving on to approval of the minutes of our December 20th, 2023 board meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Thank you, Elaine. Is there a second?
Second.
Mike? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved. Moving on to our public comment session. Anybody wishing to speak on any matter concerning the IDA, please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes in length.
I'm Calvin Varela. I represent IBEW Local 325, 142 Corporate Ave, Binghamton, New York. I would like to speak on the 200 Court Street project. It's a housing project that's going on that one contractor was bidding it to Krista for the electrical work. And Krista had them pull the electrical permit, and then on January 8th, Krista sent them an email. We're going a different direction. Thank you, maybe the next project. But this is the city of Binghamton, there's city licensing. I have people on my book, local labor. I think we should have local labor language laws. In fact, these two contractors, the developer and Krista, are from Rochester, which has 100% local labor laws. Everyone on that job, the IDA shows up, they have to have identification, they have to prove they live in that county. I'm not looking to that extreme, but with the tax incentives, my people should be working on that job. It's 4.5 miles from a union hall. All trades should work. This isn't about union, it's local labor. Construction workers make a career out of part-time jobs. And they pay taxes. They live here, they raise here, they do their families here. You're gonna get the most bang for your buck on these projects with the IDA moving forward. That's fantastic, what we do here, but there should be something that you can capitalize on these projects long-term with income coming in. And through that, And I would like to invite the board, anyone interested, to come take a tour of our training hall facility. When you graduate our program, you have a 2-year associate's degree. It's a 5-year program. We are training licensed electricians, which again, you need a city license in the city of Binghamton to do that. So I don't know how Rochester people are gonna have that license or meet the requirements. So as of right now, I'm gonna be late because bow season's coming. I'm partnering. Bow season's coming for a tour at my training hall, which we do because I sit on the board with BOCES and I can, their management team for developing their programs. I'm also on the AFL CIO and officer, which we have a 6 o'clock Zoom tonight, which represents a lot of local taxpayers here. I'm Central New York Vice President of the New York Labor Healthcare Alliance, which I have 18,000 lives under me there that I represent. I'm involved in a lot of projects. I'm a partner with NENY, with VU, the big battery program. I've been involved in writing letters for the grants and part of the grant process. Also, workforce development for that is coming in to train to see my training facility at the end of the month on the 30th. It's building trades. We're very involved in the community. I've watched a lot of these recordings on Zoom, but with my schedule and what I'm involved in, it's insane. I wish I was here more. But I do realize it's important to be involved, to get outspoken and have people here, but to educate people and show what we do to how it's gonna benefit everyone. Because a lot of people, they don't see it and don't know. You know, till I had, Binghamton University facilities come in, they're like, wow, that's what you do. I've had Congressman Bartolomeo in there 2 times. A lot of other politicians have been in there and seen, wow, this is what the trades do. It's not like what some people think. All of the trades, we all have registered apprenticeship programs, which is another thing we'll be pushing with the city for apprenticeship language. And, I'm out there and I'm gonna be speaking to everyone. They're not on the ground yet. It's a time to turn, to get our people to work. They use the price of our contractor. And I don't care who the contractor is, as long as they use local people. That's my main thing that I would like to. So if the committee would like to set up a tour, or have me in for more discussions or work through I'd be willing to. Speak and, yeah.
When they said they were going in a different direction for electrical work, what do they mean by that? They were getting a different contractor?
Yeah, it means what the word is, they went with, I believe Risa.
And what was the
Rochester.
justification, did they provide any justification why, you said, did they start with a Binghamton area contractor?
With a contractor that I was involved with, so this contractor is signatory with my local, which means they need to hire
Right,
people from my local.
and they started with them,
Yep,
and then they changed direction.
yep, they use them to pull the electrical permit, which they probably don't even have a valid, they probably flashed that permit to the city. And then gonna come in and slide their guys in from Rochester and do the job.
Did they get bids or something? Or did they have a?
Yeah, so it's a general, Krista is a general, so they own the project for the developer, which is, I forget, CSD housing team.
Uh-huh.
So they've worked a lot together throughout other projects.
Yeah.
And the same as with this Radec. Radec is the name that they're using.
Mhm.
Radec and Krista are kind of sister semi.
Who is Krista?
Krista is, they're the general contractor, again, out of Rochester. Who owns the project.
So does the city have an opportunity to go in here and, double check? I mean, the electrical inspector, can he go in there and see if they're,
If they had one.
what the code, and what if code can go?
Code could probably go in. Jeremy Bell, who was the electrical inspector, moved on to a different job, and that position sits vacant. So that's part of the trouble here. I did let the mayor know that I was coming and gonna be around because I have a good relationship with the mayor. But again, on this, we're limited. And before, I don't know if people remember, Bluestone Wind Project. You know, the Wesson Group was gonna go a different direction. I have a relationship with Senator Fred Akshar, and, you know, he mentioned to them about pulling taxes back, and that got us the project with good.
You know what the price differential was between what Rochester?
No, because they won't show that, but the thing is, the end of the day in the construction, because I bid a lot of jobs, signed a lot of contract in my long career. They used that number, so they were good with the number that was
Oh.
provided. Because they got the project, so they're happy with that.
They're just used to working with these other people.
No, they chopped it for a lower price.
Oh, okay.
They said, here, now they can say, this is what they bid, what are you gonna do it for me?
Oh.
And that money goes straight in their pocket. No one else's, that's profit. That's done all the time, which is, that's business itself, but to take away from local language, you know.
The government couldn't get away with that, but I guess they can.
In the private, you can, in a private bid, private sector, that's done a lot, but again, the main focus right here is local. Local people should be.
Absolutely, especially when there's qualified local people here.
Yeah,
No, from what you're saying though, the workers that they're hiring do not have a valid license to work in the city, correct?
yeah, because they're from Rochester, so they don't have a city license, but again,
Well, they can stop them then, right? If they don't have the proper license.
they,
There's some do
they, if, yeah, right, because there's holes, there's gaps. If they don't have an inspector to show up to do it, who's gonna do it? Everyone's busy, all the things are stretched out. So who's gonna make noise? I show up and the job gets built. They delay. So,
I thought in our agreements, doesn't it specify local labor in there? I mean, when I read through these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's in our agreements, so how can they not?
Yeah.
because you need,
Did we give away from this one?
No,
Under certain
Yes.
circumstances.
Yeah.
Or
No, we didn't give away.
we would give away around 214.
Guys to do
For
the,
certain,
either
Yeah.
the legal line or
Yes.
right.
But how can we, we're supposed to see those. If we established this at meetings ago,
no.
but we,
it's not a
before,
board.
yeah, but before we said we'd like to see the waivers before they were granted.
It had,
And
yeah,
that
it
just came up
had
before. We had to see the waiver.
typically what happens when there is a reason for them to have to go outside, they have to do certain reporting requirements and bid requirements. If they request a waiver, they will typically have to provide us all of the documentation of the bid that they've completed that process. Well, they have to show they've done the reporting regardless. But if they request a waiver, they have to provide additional documentation. I know with this issue, that the issue that they explained to us, and we were not aware of a city permitting, like that is new information we did not have. It was related to the state's MWBE requirements connected to the state incentives. So
I
that is
think if somebody
why.
asks for a waiver, they should come in here and we should have the ability to question them. Because once we granted the waiver, it's up.
We did not, I mean, again, we did not realize there was a
Oh,
difference.
no, I know that, but maybe if we all start questioning, we
Yeah.
can sometimes sort the stuff out.
Yeah,
you
oh,
know,
great,
I mean,
yeah.
with all of
No,
us
that
asking
was, that has
questions.
historically been the process on this, but we can certainly go back with the licensing requirement with
Yeah,
the city. That is the first time that's been brought to our attention of a differential licensing requirement. So we'll go back to them and we'll speak with the city on this as well, because that's information we didn't have previously on this.
I also know
Yeah.
we have contractors bid that on WBE portion to satisfy that too.
Okay, yeah, we'll go through what documentation we have, and if there's not any local in there that had bid, we'll go back and talk with the project owner on this because there's not we didn't have all the information on that.
Now, do you have to pull workers in from other areas to satisfy MWBE requirements? Or do you have them local?
No, what, again, the contractor, because we don't have a lot, the contractor will be from, I believe, the Syracuse area or the, Elmira area, but they will hire here from our people.
Subs will be local, right? Or is it, if the general
So,
contractor is the MWBE, can they hire non-MWBE subs?
so as far as the electrical goes, so we had our electrical contractor, when they get a project, they have to meet those percentage requirements. So they'll sub out to, MWBE
Okay, so it's the other
contractor.
way around.
Then if they
So
turn
that'll be included in their price. So then again, they hire our people, they hire local people.
Okay,
So that was the bid process that went through all the way to,
okay.
you know, just a week and a day. So.
So to this gentleman's concern, though, we do have teeth in our original.
Yes,
Yeah.
oh,
agreements
absolutely.
while we're
Oh,
looking at these
absolutely.
tax
Yeah.
rates.
It's at least we can
Absolutely.
make them explain themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We will reach out to
Seems to me
the
that
project owner.
all they need is a letter from the mayor.
Right.
I mean, if
Yeah.
saying that, it's required that, anybody have a license to do an electrical work.
Project,
in the city.
they can send code.
I don't think you need any inspector for that.
Yes.
Right,
That's a good point. Yeah.
right now, this board has the most leverage.
Right.
I mean, I'm not,
Yeah.
you know, there's
Yeah,
a lot of
agreed. We'll go
other
back.
avenues that can be pursued, but this is the friendly sale.
Well, even though you've granted a waiver, you can go back and say, we have new information now, so we'd like to revisit this. Can we?
Well, I mean, a permitting requirement is very specific.
Yeah.
If there's a differential requirement in the city of Binghamton where the project is located, we have to go back and have that.
Is that a hard process or lengthy process to get them permitted in Binghamton, if from Rochester?
There's a difference between pulling the electrical permit with the city, so the contractor, the electrical contractor has to meet those requirements to pull the permit, which I don't know what the city's requirements, because I'm not an electrical contractor. But the electricians, every electrician in the city of Binghamton doing work is supposed to hold a city license. Which from Rochester, they won't hold that city license.
I guess that's what I was getting at.
They need to do an exam, so every electrician going through us in order to graduate our program has to take the city exam.
Yeah, now, now that I will say that the challenge with MWBE, as we've seen through multiple projects, is the state's requirements on MWBE doesn't necessarily align with that, and we're running into that with a number. So we'll just have to, we'll have to get verification that
That's why I think. we need
they
to
were
be
certified, I mean, we'll have to go back and.
That's
yeah.
where I think we need to be
Yeah.
careful.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because I think what happened, and correct me if I'm wrong, they hired to satisfy the MWBE requirement, local contractor hires the nearest contractor, a friend that they have that's certified.
Yep,
And then that contractor turns around and hires local labor
yep,
to fulfill the contract.
yep,
What happened here is, if I understand it correctly, local contractor got replaced with an out-of-town contractor.
yep,
Maybe under the guise of meeting the MWBE requirement, who then turned around and didn't fulfill the local labor, fulfilled it with their labor. Is that essentially what happened?
yeah, well, we don't know. None of those people are probably licensed in the city.
I wasn't asking license. I
Okay,
think in terms
well,
of
with
structure.
all I can speak is one of my contractors bid only the minority requirements. And that contractor, we have a PLA on the airport. That's exactly what they're doing on the airport.
Right.
Schuler Haas has the primary bid and they're hiring A&M to be, I sent
The
a
fulfill the
foreman there
requirement.
last week, an apprentice on the job, meeting with my people, meeting the WMB requirement.
But even, correct me, this is probably for you, council.
Yep.
Right, if we waive the WMBE requirement, well, not waive it, we can give whatever we waive.
We don't have to.
We don't have the authority to,
Just 1 second.
we don't have the authority to waive city ordinances
No,
or
absolutely
exemptions.
not.
Those are still in
We
effect.
only have authority with respect to
Our
our,
Financing.
finance.
our power and, we can withdraw the incentives that we've given, but that would be our ultimate authority with respect to.
And if we find out that a contractor we gave a waiver to is violating whatever, any ordinance, whether it's a city ordinance, whether it's federal licensing,
We
anything,
don't know.
can we either rescind do we have any ability to either rescind our waiver or hold them accountable?
We have authority to do that. Yeah.
Okay,
To rescind the pilot, rescind the state tax authority, and any waiver.
okay, good to know.
So if this out of area contractor though took the labor from your hall, then it'd be okay.
okay.
right?
Sure, and I sent my first email to Chris to that.
So that's alternative.
Yes, that's what we.
Okay, got it.
They would have to, they would have to sign a letter of assent with me, which they're not gonna do. Cause it makes them union.
Can't exploit.
Right. So they, but it's on the table, they could do it, I could sign a one-off project with them, but. And this isn't about union, non-union, it's about local, local labor, but I do know our contractor that they use. And I just found out like an hour before this meeting, they actually have a fledgling branch that is WMBE veteran owned. That they was in their quote on the bid to the project entirely, meeting the minority requirements.
Yeah.
I had another contractor bid that's worked with Krista a lot, bid just that portion. So they can meet the entire project with local labor. Without any exclusions.
Thank you for.
So we had some.
I think even if we follow up with them, it sends a message. If we even follow up and ask the questions,
course.
it sends them that this is serious
Yeah.
when we sign these agreements.
So
Absolutely.
we have some follow-up,
Yeah,
some research
absolutely.
and some follow-up.
Yeah.
to do on this.
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll come back.
Yeah,
We'll be-
sorry, I went past.
No, that's all right.
That's okay. Well, you had questions, so.
But it's good, and again, reach out if anyone wants.
Yeah, I would like to send that to our, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay,
Thank you.
good luck.
Would anybody else like to speak at this public comment session? Please state your name and address for the record.
Bob Otter, some of you know me, I try to, I'm a resident in Binghamton on Airport Road. I've been against this IDA project for Corbin Park from the very beginning. I've attended your meetings, town meetings, town meetings. I've tried to give away my free cards every meeting I come to, asking for any help from any of the board members here to inquire about any information that they don't have that I might know about. It's a person who was, in business for a long time. All you people here are people that the residents actually look up to or aspire to, because we've all been in business or have been in positions of power. We expect you guys to do what's right. I'm really disappointed in that this agency, which spends millions and millions of dollars a year of public money through the grants program, doesn't have any ability for me as a resident to contact any of you board members. I can't leave you a voicemail. I can't leave you an email. There's no way to communicate with any of you people. So I've come to these meetings trying to explain what's going on. There's been letters submitted to the IDA through Ms. Duncan, refuting a lot of the information that's been publicly put out there. I'm gonna leave you copies of the letters, and you can check the dates and see what they talk about. I also have a letter here that Ms. Duncan has a copy of from the town lawyer in the town of Maine, questioning all the procedural issues that are associated with this project. I'm not sure if any of you people have seen this letter. I'm gonna leave you a copy of that letter also. You can put it around, pass it around, you can throw it in the trash. But I've tried to be upfront and honest with everything I've told you from the beginning. This project has not been done properly, legally, by law, from the very beginning. There's been so many misstatements made about this project from the very beginning, starting in January last year. I've come to the meetings, I've watched all your public meetings. A couple of you people actually have questions that are very relevant. I'm gonna end this by telling you, I'm only here today to give you this information and to let you know that out of the blue, that I didn't contact them. The New York State Comptroller's Office is now investigating this project. Because of the improprieties that have been noted. Again, anybody has a question, my email, my number. I'll leave this with who makes copies here for the board members? You do? You can pass that around. I really wish you guys would look at the aspects of how you're spending all of our public money. Some of these projects are well worthwhile, but your arrogance about eminent domain and taking people's property just to build a corporate park that might be filled in 40 years on properties that I've told you since the very beginning that have contamination issues, environmental issues. There's lots of problems on this property. And I don't know what to tell you. I tried to inform you and I get nothing from any of you. Mr. Bucci, you questioned this from the very beginning. I wish you had reached out. Anybody else? I won't waste your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Otter. Would anybody else like to speak at this public comment session? We'll call this session to a close. Executive Director's report. Stacy, updates?
I'm going to keep this brief, just a brief update. I attended the SEMI, which is a International Semiconductor Association. Attended SEMI ISS, which is Industry Strategy Symposium conference last week as a part of Team New York, which is a group of economic development organizations from across upstate New York. It was a 3.5 day conference in San Francisco. Attending this event are about 100 supply chain companies within the national semiconductor space. As a great opportunity to make some introductions as we have some companies here locally that are looking to expand within this space and as well new business attraction opportunities. As a result, we've had a few follow-ups from there, interested in potential opportunities here in the Broome County and broader Southern Tier region. With that, I'll just note you have unaudited financials in your packet. We are beginning the audit process. Actually, and Sarah Group will be in tomorrow to begin the process. Ended the year well. We're at a net operating income of 251,819, as opposed to our budgeted of 103,198. I will note as well. Excuse me, there was one other item I wanted to call your attention to, but generally you can see through the unaudited financials. The Tarpon lease under income, that is still in review with the town of Conklin. They had wanted to get a third-party review on that. That's for the cell tower at 147 Corporate Park Drive. We don't have any follow-up on that, so that did not come to fruition in 2023. Trying to think if there were any additional questions or items that the board had. I'd be happy to answer those.
Just got one question on the 5 South College Drive. Do we have some unanticipated expenses there?
Well, on income, we were down because we did lose a tenant and the one office, that was one of the single offices that sat vacant for a period of time. We do have a full-time tenant there now. So that's why you see the loss of income on that.
Just a loss of income.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but all three of those single offices are now full.
Okay.
Mhm. As of, I think, October of 2023.
Who ran the last time?
Marshall McMurray, he's a small business sole
Okay.
proprietor, a realtor.
Okay.
Any other questions for Stacy on her report or the financial reports? Thank you, Stacy. Loan activity reports as of 12/31. Any questions for Natalie? Moving on, new business, 2024 meeting schedule. You've all seen a copy of that. I trust it's perfect, works exactly the way your schedule allows.
Not much variation there.
Obviously, LDC, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Unless
And,
noted otherwise.
LDC meetings only as needed, right? Item number 7, we're gonna move to executive session as it relates to legal matters. Joe's gonna walk through that with us along with Natalie. Item number 9, resolution authorizing the Broome County Industrial Development Agency, BCIDA, to declare its intent to act as lead agency in the environmental review seeker for the proposed planning of the Broome County Technology Park to be formulated for future development on approximately 526 acres located at Airport Road in the towns of Maine and Union and situated 1,000 feet northwest of the Greater Binghamton Sports Complex in the county of Broome, New York. Stacy?
So this is the first step, formal step in the seeker process, which is to declare our intent, or excuse me, a resolution of our intent to declare lead agency status for the state's environmental quality review. You have in your packet a full environmental assessment form, part 1, and as well notice response form related to seeker lead agency designation. Outlined in that document, in the back page of that document, are a list of involved agencies, including the Town of Maine Town Board, Town of Union Town Board, Town of Maine Planning, Town of Union Planning Boards, Broome County Public Works, Broome County Planning Department, New York State Department of Ag and Markets, New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, Historic Preservation, New York State DEC, New York State Empire State Development, New York State Department of Health, and list of interested agencies, which will also all receive copies of this. Then from there is a 30-day period of time in which any challenges to this must be noticed. After such, if there are none, then in our February meeting, we will have a resolution to declare lead agency and begin formally the seeker process, which will begin with a public scoping session that will outline all of the required studies, reviews, et cetera, that will be performed under seeker.
Stacey, I don't remember if I saw this or not. I didn't see it. As far as involved parties or interested agencies, do we have on there the joint source treatment plant?
We have the listed, not uninvolved. I don't know that they'd be considered involved, but we do have
Well,
listed.
they would be involved.
Would they be? And I have.
I mean, I'm assuming that's where the sewer would go, but maybe not. Maybe it would go.
Sewage. We'll look into that, joint sewage treatment.
And also the,
And we have, as far as interested, we have Broome County Sheriff, New York State Police Troop C, East Maine Fire Company, Maine Emergency Squad, Chokinut Fire Company, Union Volunteer Emergency Squad.
and for involved agencies, do you have the Chokinut Water District people? I don't know who they are.
Town of Union, actually.
That's under Town of Union, I believe, yeah.
Okay.
But I'll double check that on the joint sewage treatment plan.
I had a couple questions just on the EAS too.
And I before,
okay.
and I don't want to interrupt, I just want to let you know, we do have Lisa Nagel for any real technical questions. She's project manager with EDR, and Frank Pavia with Harris Beach.
So, Mayor, did this come out of governance?
No,
This did not go.
No,
to
it went right.
Okay, is there a motion on this item before we do continue to discuss? So moved. Thanks, Jim. Is there a second? Thanks, Dan. Okay, now,
I said a couple of quick questions because
Sure.
I'd like to piggyback on what Elaine said. Because I keep hearing different things. I'm trying to get this straight. So it says a name of district, a name of this is for the water service, name of district of service areas, Town of Union, Chokinut Center Water District.
Mhm.
So I would assume, I might be wrong, that covers the town of Union portion of this.
Right.
What about the town of Maine
Town of
portion?
Maine Planning Board is an involved agent.
No, I mean, in regards to the water though, who will, doesn't it, it says like, is the project site in the existing district? And it says yes, but is the expansion of the district needed? And that says yes also. So my point is,
And
to get the
also,
town of Maine, the town of Maine portion of this would have to come into this water district, would it not?
I believe it
would have
would,
to be
yeah.
created.
So would it be at the
District
create-
would have to be
Site is not
created.
covered, is not entirely covered by a water district. You would have to
Correct.
form a new water.
So you have to form a new water, the
Joint.
town of Maine would have to form a new water district.
Well,
Or,
possibly in conjunction with the town of Union.
right, well, let's,
Right.
so it could be an expansion of an existing water district or a completely new water district.
Correct.
Okay.
That would
Yeah.
overlay both municipalities.
And that's where
Both
Town
of
of
them.
Maine Planning and Broome County Public Works and Broome County Planning are all involved agencies.
Okay, so part of it, so right now, part of it is in the water district and part of it has no water district, no water service at all. If the,
Right.
what's vacant
Water
land
running.
anyways, yeah.
Right.
All right, good. And then, the other question here says, will the proposed action generate liquid waste? And it says yes. And it says, will the proposed action use existing wastewater treatment facilities? And it says no. So where's it gonna go?
What page are you on?
It's page 5.
Page 5.
It may go to Endicott, or it may go.
From
to
the airport.
Well, it says it's not using any-
That in, it went to Endicott.
Yeah, but it said, will it go to existing public wastewater facilities? And they said no. So my question is, if it's not going to an existing one, where is it going?
Lisa, I think that's a correction.
No, not necessarily. So part of this EAF, what we're about to embark on doing is to prepare a generic environmental impact statement where all of these questions, which are very good questions, will be answered in detail with our engineering team. So in that, and we also have Frank, Frank's on the line, Stacy as well, Frank Pavia from Harris Beach, who is has many more years seeker experience than I do. But nonetheless, we are going to be evaluating all of this, including the water district question, through the generic environmental impact statement process.
Well, Lisa, unless we're planning on constructing a waste treatment plant
Yeah.
on the site, it has to go to an existing plant.
So they're leaving that open.
Yeah, so this
Might
is
actually
Frank
go-
Pavia. I think,
They don't know at this point.
I don't know. if
Stacy, Frank's
know if
trying to
you-
answer too.
Frank, go ahead.
This is Frank Pavia from Harris Beach. I can't answer, and it is a good question as to why that's checked off no, other than, again, we're at a very early planning stage of this project. And as Lisa indicated, it is already the intent of the, by this resolution that a generic environmental impact statement is going to be prepared. And the reason it's a generic is because this is a planning action. We don't have a specific development project for that property. So the fact that it's checked off yes, that there will be liquid waste is somewhat speculative, but will be flushed out as the involved agencies, the appropriate involved agencies, the water and sewer district, the local municipalities, determine what actually should be regulated and what should occur in terms of a connection to an existing wastewater treatment plant, an expansion of a water district, or an expansion of a sewer district. So although I can't answer why that latter question is checked off no, rest assured this is all going to be flushed out in the preparation of the generic environmental impact statement.
Yeah, thank you.
There's a few puns in there.
Thank you for the great answer.
So with the GEIS, would you be looking at, like the size of the pipes, like for wastewater, for example, or sewage? Because, what's there now is very likely to be like an 8-inch residential pipe, which obviously isn't gonna be enough. I'm just wondering, do you look at that kind of thing during the GEIS?
So what will happen is the appropriate local, county, or state agency will comment and weigh in on that and say, hey, those existing 8-inch residential pipes are insufficient for this kind of project. You need to design a project that has an adequate size line for the projected sewage or water usage of the property. That's all going to be part of this GIS process where actually we will hear from the appropriate regulatory agencies, local, county, state, comment, tell us what needs to be done, and then that will be all factored into the final document, planning document that comes out of this process.
So, and I don't know if this is covered in the GEIS or not, but, you know, we've had a lot of discussion of how to access the property. Is that also part of the GEIS, or is that part of a more of a development process down the road, or?
That would be part of the GEIS, Elaine. It would be, there are about, Frank, correct me if I'm wrong, 18 to 20 different aspects that we will look at in detail. Transportation, which would mean access, water, wastewater, air, visual, community impacts, et cetera. There's a long list within seeker. The reason I really like the GEIS process is precisely of where we are now in this process for you. In that we're still really evaluating, you know, how this land could function as a tech park. And this GEIS process will look at all those aspects in conjunction with any regulatory agencies to really kind of flesh things out as we go along. This is a long process. This isn't something we're doing in 3 months. It'll take a number of months with a number of experts on our team. We will have civil engineering, we'll have architecture, we'll have landscape architecture, we'll have cultural, historical folks, we'll have environmental engineers. We're going to have all the experts on our team to answer all of these questions as we go forward.
Yeah, because I looked at the slopes map from the county GIS site, and I mean, it looks to me like there's 20% slopes along the entire portion of it on Airport Road. I just, for the life of me, I can't see how you can get in there except through East Main Road, but I'm glad that'll all be covered.
Just one last question.
Yeah, these are all great questions that, again, as the involved agencies weigh in, as our experts do the analysis assessment, will all be covered in the final generic environmental impact statement, and also become the parameters of a development plan for the project, so that future specific development actions that come before this board and the local municipalities, all of this will have been assessed, and there will be, you know, conditions and parameters set on how a project should go forward.
Just one last question. At this point, do you know how far that the sewer lines are at this project is served by existing sewer lines? Because I've heard some reports that the sewer line only goes as far as Kashew's property. So the question, I guess, would be in the broader picture, if newer sewer lines would have to be put in, would that be our responsibility, or would that be the town's responsibility? Or do we know that at this point? Would it be, if the industrial park needs newer sewer lines, would we be responsible for paying for those, or with the town?
That,
I don't know.
Mr. Mayor, that would be aspect that we would evaluate as part of the GEIS. And there are different ways that we can consider that as well, but that we have to evaluate how far does it go, how big is it, how would we extend it, how much would it cost, and in the final generic environmental impact statement, we will identify measures that will be needed if this project is to move forward. So we would that would be one of the identifications in the final document.
Yeah, so my question would just be, then we would have to, like, based on what they find, our budget would obviously might change. If we have to put in the sewer lines, then that would be something we would have to budget for.
This is going to outline all of the infrastructure needs and the public infrastructure
And what
needs
we might.
and the costs associated
What
with
we are
that.
responsible for and what somebody else.
Yeah, this next stage will outline,
What's the board be involved in the scoping session?
yeah, it's public scoping
Yes.
session.
Yeah,
So
I think we would want to be.
Yeah, I would
Lisa,
just-
the other question I had was with fire suppression. So when you're looking at water, would you be looking at that as well? It would seem to me like you would have to have a water tower there within, so you have enough pressure.
Yeah,
For
that's
fire-
another thing that we would evaluate, we're with our architects, once we, get to that point.
Wouldn't
On your, Elaine, your,
wouldn't mind, sure.
So are
Oh,
they,
go ahead,
are
Lisa.
they doing this?
I was just gonna add to Elaine's question. So Elaine, in seeker, public scoping, a public scope, excuse me, a scoping document is now required. A public hearing on a scoping document is not required, but we are intending to have one so that we're having an open and transparent process.
Yeah, I think that would be smart.
And then the
So
only
they
thing I
leave
would
the
add to
process.
that, the only thing I would add to that is in addition to the public hearing on the scoping process or document, there will be a public hearing held on the draft generic environmental impact statement. So there will be 2 separate public hearings held in this process.
All right, and then would you also be doing a stormwater management plan for this as part of the GEIS?
It's required.
That will all be part of the GIS.
Yes.
That will all be part of the GIS. The New York State
No, I just didn't know
DEC.
that. As part of the GEIS.
Yep, yep, and DEC will be an involved agency, so yes, we will be looking at stormwater as well.
And then there was a question in here about wildlife. Do you have a list of all the creatures that live in the?
Like the long-eared bats, the long-eared bats that almost.
And are aquatic turtles on that list?
The-
Because I
But
got
yeah,
one-
that is
I
also
got one at
covered.
home and
That
I
is
see
also
if you can live
covered.
there.
Yes, all of that is, will be part of endangered species, environment, all of that's part of the environmental review.
And Stacy, just as an example of that, what, for that environmental assessment form, we put in the information that's provided through the state's GIS database, but
Yes.
for the
They already- so they
GIS,
already have
we
a
are going
list
to
of what's-
dispatch our staff into the field to look for
Yes.
all the different things.
Yeah, exactly, so.
So it sounds like the questions have been answered. We have a motion and a second. Shall we vote
I
on
have one
this?
last, I'm sorry, one last, what do you anticipate the time frame for this to be?
At minimum, 9 months, at minimum.
Yeah,
So you want to give a range like 9 months to?
Well, we would issue the documents that I know, the notice immediately upon approval by the board. Then we have the required 30-day period. So 9 months from that date, so mid-February. Well, ideally, if we're able to bring the resolution for declaration of lead agency status in February, then we would begin that clock would start,
Okay.
ideally from there.
Okay.
Yeah,
So local towns have 30 days to decide if they want to be the lead agency.
any involved
Right,
agency,
they can say, we want to do it.
any involved agency can, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who wanted
I
it.
don't know either, but-
Very expensive process, yeah.
The towns don't have the capacity.
So shall we have a vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Approved. Item number 10, resolution approving an extension of the January 5th, 2023 sales and use tax exemption agreement with 78 Main Street LB4 Properties LLC from December 21st, 2023 through and including December 21st, 2024, the total of which shall not exceed $35,064.18. Mayor?
Governance Committee, moves us forward as a motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Joe. Any discussion? Would you like an explanation or we've all read it and we're comfortable with it? Let's have a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Item number 11, resolution approving an extension of the January 3rd, 2023 sales and use tax exemption agreement with Marchuska Productions LLC from December 21st, 2023 through and including December 21st, 2024, the total of which shall not exceed $18,160. Mayor?
Governance moves it forward as a motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Jim. Any discussion or would you like an explanation?
Just what is the project?
The project is the renovation of space located at the Metro Center. They are putting a new tenant in. Ramble Engineering is putting a Binghamton office in. So it's related to all of the construction and renovation now.
Thank you. Shall we have a vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Moving onward to number 12, resolution accepting an application from Neurosciences Healthcare Medicine PC and authorizing a New York State and local sales and use tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $84,000 for a term not to exceed 12 months, consistent with the policies of the agency in connection with the construction, renovation, and equipping of the property and building located at 1020 Vestal Parkway East in the town of Vestal, County of Broome, and State of New York. Mayor.
Governance moves it forward as a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there a second? Thank you, Dan. Let's have a discussion. Any questions on this item? Or any explanation needed? Let's have a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Moving onward, looking for a motion to go into executive session to talk about legal matters. Thanks, Dan. Is there a second? Thank you, Elaine. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are moving into executive session. Back in session, looking for a motion to write off on our books loans, but not forgive loans to Spec Op Tactical Center LLC in the amount of $143,310.51, to Alice's Closet LLC in the amount of $25,000, which came from the Steed Loan Fund, and to F.A. Guernsey Company Inc. In the amount of $118,273.72, as per the recommendation of our attorney, who has been working on these collection efforts for months and months and months.
And I have one thing.
And
So we do have another one, Denise O'Donnell. She was the hairdresser from Norwich. And council did say to not write that off, to leave that on, but that's, I guess, up to you. Just because we have a lien against her house for 9 more years, and then we can go and do a 10-year lien, so.
leave it out.
Leave it on.
That's a motion. Is there a second? Thank you, Joe. Is there any discussion, additional discussion, I should say?
I would just clarify, this is an accounting issue.
Yeah,
Absolutely. To write off on our books.
and we will, at this point, unless something comes up, Steve's active legal efforts to try to.
Let's have a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Approved. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Elaine. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Stacy, coming away from this meeting with 17 questions for you.
I know.
It's pretty
It's
sad.
okay. That's all right. Okay.
You got the controller. huh?
Our council, what do you have to say?
Yeah.
About
Tell me when we're ready for the LDC. meeting. Find your chair. Thank you. Welcome to this meeting of the Broome County Living Development Corporation of January 17th, 2024. I'm going to hand it off to our attorney, Joe Mayer, to
Okay.
administer the oath of office.
Okay, on behalf of the chair, I'm seeking a motion for a nomination for chairman of
Oath
the.
of office first.
Oh, yeah. Okay, all right, all yous guys. Please repeat after me. I
Richard A. Boucher.
do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
and the Constitution of the State of New York.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office
of the office
of member of the Broome County Industrial Development Agency. Excuse me,
Of Broome County Local Development Corporation.
Member,
According to the best of my ability.
To the best of my
They
ability.
screwed that up twice. Okay, all right, you're on for another year, guys. In spite of my errors. All right, does someone want to make a motion to nominate the chairman for next year?
I wish to nominate John Bernardo as chairman.
You have a second?
Second.
Do we have a nomination for vice chair?
I'd like to nominate Jim as vice chair.
Do I have a second? Second. We have a nomination for secretary
Like to nominate Richard Bucci for secretary.
and a second.
Second.
And do we have a nomination for treasurer?
I'd like to nominate Dan Crocker as treasurer.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, do we have a motion to accept and approve the proposed slate of officers for the 2024 year?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? You're on for another year, guys.
All
Thank you,
right.
Joe. Looking for a motion to approve the minutes of our December 20th, 2023 board meeting.
Motion.
Is there a second? Thanks, Mike. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Come to the part of our agenda where we have a public comment session. I don't see anybody in the room or on the screen. Moving onward to new business, the 24 meeting schedule, as I indicated earlier, is as needed for the LDC. Do we have any other topics to cover?
Committees,
Repeat,
committees,
that is.
No,
that fall under the LDC?
well, both, the committees for both are the
Why
same.
don't you bring that up on the IDA board?
They just remembered it, and we'll email them out to.
Committee assignments are not going to change. If you feel like you'd love to be on a different committee, let me know, but I think the structure works nicely.
Love is a strong word.
But stay tuned, because Stacy will, or someone will circulate
Get those out,
as a
as
reminder.
well as calendar
As
invites
well as
for
the
all the meetings coming up, all the, yeah, sorry, I'm in the
Great.
wrong meeting, IDA meetings.
We covered a lot
Meeting
in
delay.
that
I know.
4 hours, Stacy.
It's true.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Thank you, James.
Before we do, because everyone has to sign their oath of office and their acknowledgement of fiduciary responsibilities, and I
Give it to
assume
Stacy.
Stacy,
I'm not ready.
okay, all right.
We're all good.
Motion to adjourn?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Peter. Is there a second? Joe, thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
You have not completed your board, confidential board evaluations. Please do that.
We include those with you.